morning, it's nearly 11 a.m. here in Seoul. I'm Oh Soo-young at the Arirang News Centre. We're breaking into our regular programming to bring you a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the coronavirus outbreak here in the country. In just a few moments, we'll cut into the briefing at the Sejong Government Complex with simultaneous interpretation in English. Ministry of Health and Welfare spokesman Song Young-na will be briefing us on the coronavirus situation here in South Korea, filling us in on the number of new infection cases seen as of midnight and what kind of efforts the government is making to contain the virus. Looks like he's taken to the podium and the briefing will likely is just about to begin.
We also have Mr. Yoon Tae-ho joining us at the briefing, as well as Mr. Lee Chang-hoon as well. And we have sign language translation available by Ms. Ko Kyung-hee. And first of all, here is Mr. Son Young-lee with the briefing on the COVID-19 response. Let us now begin our regular briefing for September 9th, Wednesday. As of today midnight, we have a total of 144 new local infections. Yesterday, we had 3 additional fatalities. The death toll now stands at 344. I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved families. Until this weekend, we have the intensified quarantine measures put in place in the metropolitan area, and we have 5 more days until its deadline. And in the metropolitan area, we have seen a clear downward trend in the number of confirmed cases, and the number is now in its 100s. And in other regions as well, nationwide, we have also a downward trend, and we have about 50 cases nationwide as well in other regions aside from the metropolitan area. We believe that these are the efforts and effects and the results of the efforts put forth by the members of the public during the past few weeks. On top of this, we believe that the intensified social distancing measures for the metropolitan area will also yield fruitful results starting from next week. We have the nationwide level 2 social distancing put in place until the 20th of September, and we have the intensified quarantine measures put in place for the next 5 days until September 13th. So we ask the members of the public to continue to exert full efforts for the next 5 more days so that we can flatten our curve going forward, and we believe that we shall not need another round of intensified social distancing measures. Many of our members of the public are exerting their full efforts to participate in these measures, and many of the self-employed are enduring difficulties and inconveniences, and also many members of the public in the metropolitan area are refraining from going outside. So we ask you to continue to stay home safe and sound and refrain from making outdoor visits and outdoor gatherings as well. The government will also exert our full efforts to cooperate with the public, and we will make sure that we are seeing the inspection on site so that these measures are put in place. The Culture Ministry is also exerting its full efforts to carry out an inspection on the major multi-use facilities in the areas of culture and sports and tourism. And currently there are a majority of the facilities that have suspended operations, and even when they are opening, we have seen that there are great abidement of these measures. And as for the outdoor camping sites, we are asking all of the visitors to refrain from making group gatherings as well, and we have also put in place restrictions on the number of people who can utilize these camping sites as well. And we have also taken an inspection on many of the indoor sports facilities, including some 1,700 of them, as well as 100s of the cinemas as well, and we will also continue the inspection as well. And at the cinemas, we also have an propaganda and promotional video in between and before we start the films, so that we ask all of the people to keep with the abidement of the quarantine measures. And we believe that during the Chuseok holiday, we will have a special quarantine period, and it is a very pity that we have to announce such measures. However, we ask you to refrain from traveling as much as possible. As for the families with senior citizens, we ask you to refrain from going to your hometowns and visiting your relatives. And please note that this is very important. And please also stay home as much as possible and talk to each other via phone calls. The government will also exert our full efforts to intensify quarantine during the Chuseok holiday. We will also have the fees put in place for the expressways during the Chuseok as well as other quarantine measures. And the government is also exerting our full efforts to secure more hospital beds. And going forward, we have the continued joint system for the evaluation of the intensive care units. And currently, we have a smooth operation of these intensive care units right now nationwide. And we will also be designating more hospitals that are designated only treating with the patients with severe and critical conditions. And we have some 12 hospitals nationwide, which has volunteered with 70 hospital beds. And we will continue to secure more hospital beds for those who are critically ill. And the Ministry of Defense as well also, they have also agreed to utilize the 8 negative pressure rooms that they have to treat the critically ill patients. And they also additionally prepared 40 more hospital beds for those people who are critically ill as well. And as of yesterday, we have about 380 people in the medical practitioners who are also mobilized nationwide, and they include a number of doctors, nurses, as well as other health professionals. And in light of the increase of the confirmed cases in the metropolitan area, we have also mobilized some 20 workers and medical professionals at life treatment centers as well. And also there were many of the businesses that had to be closed down for this infection, and we have some compensation for them. And as of August 8th, we have carried out these compensations, and most of these businesses had a minimal amount of compensation amounting to only about 100,000 Korean won. And therefore, we are exerting our full efforts to enhance these and streamline the application process for these compensation, and they will be screened starting from today. And they will be available starting from today by the applications to the local governments, and we hope that these measures will help the small business owners going forward. Right now, we are exerting our full efforts to partake in the social distancing, and this also calls for continued participation by the public. Just as you did so far, you have successfully contained the virus from spreading further in the metropolitan area, and we are now having positive signs of these quarantine measures. And please note that the efforts and the effects of the social distancing will bring into fruition during the next 1 or 2 weeks, and please exert your efforts going forward. And many of the businesses, including cafes, restaurants, have suspended operations, and there have been some mass gatherings of people by the river banks. And remember, nevertheless, that social distancing is all about minimizing physical contact with others. So for the time being, we ask you to refrain from going outside and going to outdoor gatherings and social gatherings as well, and please stay home as much as possible. And especially for those in the metropolitan area, we continue to ask for your participation for the next 5 days. Thank you very much.
That was a live government briefing. You just heard that updating us on the coronavirus situation here in the country. We just heard that there were 156 additional cases of COVID-19 seen as of Wednesday midnight, bringing the accumulated total to 21,588. There were unfortunately 3 additional deaths, bringing the total death toll to 344. Now that brings us to the end of our coverage of this morning's briefing. We will be back though with our regular newscast at midday Korea time. Bye for now.